Control Officer and Enumerator for the year 2016, and shall receive an annual salary not to exceed $8,994. And Tom Ronaldo be hereby reappointed Assistant Dog Control Officer and shall receive an annual wage of $4,162 and contractual expenses of $3,500 for expenses incurred pursuant to law contained within the 2016 budget when discharging the duties as head offices. At the pleasure of the board, to move its adoption.
Second. Board Member Alba? Yes. Board Member Discipline?
Yes.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Thorne?
Yes.
Supervisor Sam?
Yes.
Resolution 44-16, recycling attendant, whereas under section 20 of the town law, the town board should designate all appointed officers and employees of the town. Therefore, be it resolved that Joe Rotella Jr. be reappointed as recycling attendant and be paid $10.67 hourly, not to exceed $8,550 as per the 2016 town budget, while dispensing duties of said office. I move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Alba? Yes. Board Member Discipline?
Yes.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Thorne?
Yes.
Supervisor Sam?
Yes.
Resolution 45-16. It is the duty of the town board to appoint all employees of the town. Therefore, be it resolved that for 2016 at an hourly rate of $9.60, not to exceed $13,865 while dispensing duties of said office. Moves for its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Alba? Yes. Board Member Discipline?
Yes.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Thorne?
Yes.
Supervisor Sam?
Yes.
Resolution 4616, Social Services Officer. Whereas under Municipal Affairs, the State Comptroller, Section 71-1098, grants the town board the right to authorize someone to act as town social services officer. Therefore, be it resolved that the town board approve Robert A. Stanley to act as social services officer, to be paid no compensation, and be allowed expense money in the amount of $300 for expenses incurred pursuant to law when discharging the duties of said office, and I move its adoption.
Second that.
Board Member Alba? Yes. Board Member Discipline?
Yes.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Thorne?
Yes.
Supervisor Sam?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Abstain.
Resolution 4716, Director of Civil Defense. Whereas under Section 20 of the town law, the town board should designate all appointed officers and employees of the town. Therefore, it be resolved that Gary Carr Jr. be reappointed as Director of Civil Defense for the town of Shandaken with no compensation for the year of 2016, and I move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Alba?
Yes.
Board Member Discipline?
Yes.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Thorne?
Yes.
Supervisor Sam?
Yes. Resolution 4816, resolution appointing Central Catskills Collaborative members. Whereas the town of Shandaken is a member community of the Central Catskills Collaborative, which includes the municipalities of Andes, Fleischman's, Margaretville, Middletown, and Hollitt. And whereas the town is requested to annually appoint 2 standing members and 1 alternate to the collaborative, therefore be it resolved that the town of Shandaken Town Board hereby reappoints town board member Faye Storms and Doris Bartlett as the standing representatives, and Parks and Rec Board Chair Marty Gales as the alternate member for the town of Shandaken on the Catskill Collaborative Committee for the year 2016, and move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Alba? Yes. Board Member Discipline?
Yes.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Thorne?
I have to abstain from that? I say yes.
No, properly.
Yes.
Board Member Sam? Yes.
Resolution 49-16, advance payment of utility bills. Whereas under section 118, notes of decision 2 of the town law, the town board may authorize payment of public utility services in advance of audit claims. Therefore, be it resolved that the town board authorize the supervisor to pay said bills in advance of audit of claims. I move its adoption.
I'll second that.
Board Member Alba? Yes. Board Member Discipline?
Yes.
Board Member Malloy?
Yes.
Board Member Thorne?
Yes.
Supervisor Sam?
Yes.
Resolution 50-16.
You have numbers on this?
Yeah, still have some.
No, no. Figures.
Well, she didn't give me any figures.
Oh, numbers, right.
She didn't give me anything.
Don't look at me.
Fine.
I don't care.
All right, we'll have to postpone that till next month.
My job.
Utility because these have to be paid.
Take a motion to table.
Yeah, yeah, no motion.
Motion to table resolution 5016.
Take roll call. Motion to table 5060.
Board Member Albert? Yes. Board Member Discipline?
Yes.
Board Member Moore?
Yes.
Board Member Thorne?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yep.
Resolution 5116, resolution establishing town board special meeting, whereas the town of Shandaken engineering firm Malone and McBroom, Inc. has completed the local flood analysis, LFA, for Phoenicia and Mount Trumper. Therefore, be it resolved that the town of Shandaken Town Board will conduct a special meeting at 6 p.m. on Monday, January 25th, 2016, to hear a presentation from Malone and McBroom, Inc., reporting on their final findings and recommendations related to the LFA conducted throughout 2015, and I move its adoption.
I'll second that.
Board Member Albert?
Yes.
Board Member Discipline?
Yes.
Board Member Moore?
Yes.
Board Member Thorne?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes.
Resolution 5216, resolution for purchase of replacement police vehicle. Whereas the town of Shandaken Police Department has 2 vehicles that have been deemed to be unfit for service, and whereas the town of Shandaken Police Chief has found a suitable replacement vehicle. Therefore, be resolved that the town of Shandaken Town Board approve the purchase of a 2011 Chevy Impala, VIN number 2G1WG5EK0B130590 for a final price not to exceed $7,700, including trade-in for the currently owned 2010 Chevy Impala and the 2007 Ford Crown Victoria. And I move its adoption.
Second.
Board Member Albert?
Yes.
Board Member Discipline?
Yes.
Board Member Moore?
Yes.
Board Member Thorne?
Yes.
Supervisor Stanley?
Yes. Lastly, I'll just announce the liaisons. So Timmy as deputy supervisor would be liaison for police, building department, parks and rec board, and safari. Board member Alba will be liaison for the ambulance department, Phoenicia Water and Planning Board. Board member Disclafani will be highway, museum, Pine Hill Water, and SAVE. Faye will be Catskill Collaborative Scenic Byway, New York Rising Projects, Pine Hill 2020, and the ZBA. So everybody's got 4 except for Gail.
Do I have that? I'll post it on the website. I'll make copies for everybody. Okay.
That being said, we close the resolutions portion, we go to open public comment. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry to have missed the opportunity at the beginning of the meeting to comment about the appointments to the planning board and the ZBA. The town website says that this meeting would begin at 7 tonight. I checked earlier today, and a lot of people asked me,
Is that on the news section?
over on the right-hand side, it says, yeah, it says 7. So I would like to say that I think we've had a very bad process for obtaining new members for the planning board and the zoning board. And I don't know if you discussed earlier revising that process, but I think it's really important to do so. The boards have a natural inclination to recommend that the existing board members be reappointed if they have put their names forward for that. And I have attended interviews that are conducted by the planning board. Those were not the way that I would like to see our town conducting interviews. It wasn't recent, it was in the past, but it's not an obligation that I think the town board should delegate to these boards. these appointments are your appointments, and they're really important, and they should reflect the diversity of the community. And if the board gets to recommend that the people that they've worked with in the past, they work with in the future, it's a disincentive for new people to put their names forward. We have people come and volunteer and are told no. And I'm not in favor of term limits, because I think that sometimes we don't have volunteers, or there's somebody who is serving as chair, or for some reason would need to be reappointed. But in general, I think when somebody has served 5 years on the ZBA and 7 years on the planning board, or as in the case of these current appointments, 14 and 15 years or more, that it's time to let somebody else have an opportunity if there are other candidates, and at least for some of these positions there were. So I think I would really ask that the town board address this, that the terms of the current appointments be extended to February of the year beyond their 7th and 5th years, so that the newly elected board gets to come in, conduct its own interviews with some input from those boards, and then make appointments that reflect our current elected officials, not appointed people who are very much just inclined, as social beings, to not want to say to somebody, we'd rather have somebody else. It's very, very difficult. So I think it's a process that should have been changed before now. It would have led to a better result tonight if that had happened. And so I charge you, each of you, to make sure that this doesn't happen again in the future. Thank you.
Just in short response, Kathy. So a number of years ago, this issue came up as well. The planning board at that time changed their bylaws, which took an act of the town board to change the bylaws in order to amend that process. For the planning board, it is very formalized now, whereas whether the person is going for reappointment or not, we advertise for the opening position. People are welcome to come. If they are interested, just like any other board, they can attend all these meetings. And that's generally how people get involved, because they'll sit in the audience, see how the board's going on, and say, you know what, I think I could do that. I think I could help in this capacity on that board. So when the planning board does that, that's when people can put their names in. Now, the board voted for who they voted for. Now, we've never stopped town board members from attending planning board or zoning board sessions when they go to executive session to interview. It's just simply a request of those chairs to be included when they have their discussion in executive session, so they can be included in the discussion or the interview process. When a newly elected official is elected, it actually makes a unique situation, because the process for the planning board goes on in November, December, following their election. So they're not actually a board member, and they can request of the chair, hey, as a new board member, can I sit in on this process and learn about these candidates that are coming on that I'm going to appoint in January possibly. So there's an opportunity for them without creating a quorum with existing board members if they choose to attend as well. We've done this in the past. We did have discussion amongst this board and the ZBA about formalizing their process as well for renewal, putting out advertisement, saying whether they're up for reappointment or not, doing a formal, interview process. Again, we've never stopped town board members if they're interested in watching the process or seeing who's applying. But as you said, sometimes it's just difficult to get people to apply, and they don't want to volunteer their time off, or they don't follow through with the commitment, or they can't do those nights. It's just difficult to get people to volunteer for a lengthy period of time and stay committed. But we've always had an open process with the planning board. This year we are looking to change the ZBA bylaws so that we make it more formalized for their reappointment process, but that's moving forward. So.
I would just say that I think that giving these boards this responsibility is of the wrong direction, and the bylaws should be changed to get it back to the way it used to be. This is a relatively recent change that these boards conduct the interviews and are the ones who make the recommendation. And the reason being that in the time since that change has been made, I know of only one case in which a new person was put on. So the recommendations that are coming from these boards do not seem to me to be independent and fresh the way they would be if the town board were charged with conducting these interviews with input from the planning board and the zoning board. So that's,
Again, similar to appointments, be it with the police department, with the ambulance department, there is some degree of deference to those department people that work within that department that handle those issues day in, day out. Be it building inspectors, so on and so forth. So they should have some degree of say in that decision. Again, never impeded a town board member from sitting in on the board meetings. I see the chair of the planning board is sitting in the back. He can tell you, I'm sure, on many occasions he's invited, town board members, not only recognize them at the meeting, but if they went to executive session on the issue, he's more than willing to invite the town board member in there for the discussion. Again, that has to be an executive session. That's a personnel matter. They're not to conduct the interview in a public manner. They are to make their recommendation public to the board, just the same as we did tonight. But again, we're trying to clarify it with the ZBA, but it has always, for the past 4 or 5 years, has been a very open process with the planning board.
Kath, excuse me. I'm looking at the website right now, and it is 6 p.m. Above it, it says about the planning board meeting. It's at 7. It's coming up, but right here, upcoming January 4, 2016, 6 p.m. The resolution and the meeting, and then the link, of course, the agenda and the resolution.
Okay, I apologize if I read it wrong, but I did
Yeah,
go
it's
there
right
to check
above us
this.
is the planning board workshop meeting that they're having Wednesday at the 6th.
Thank you.
So just so you know, got me all freaked out.
Yeah.
This afternoon I came home and found an envelope. And in that envelope was a check. And that check was from the state of New York. And that check came about as a result of the work that you, Rob, and Tim, and Fay did in the last couple of years to keep the budget under control. And it's a reimbursement solely on the basis that this town has kept within a 2% cap. And I want to thank you, the three of you, who worked very hard and diligently to make that happen. Now, we've got a tough time ahead of us. This town has had to really scratch to make the keep taxes under control, to make an environment that the people of this town can be happy with and proud of. And the thing that I noticed tonight is already a division appearing within the board. You guys have to work together. You can't just start out by, as a result of whether it's personal agendas or whatever. You've got to work together for the benefit of the people of this town, whether they are Democrats, whether they're Republicans, whether they're socialists, whether they're independents, it doesn't matter. You've got to work together for the benefit of everybody in this town. And that's what you were elected to do. And I hope that over the next 2 to 4 years, depending on what's left in your terms, that's what's going to guide you as you work to benefit the people of this town. So I just encourage you all, work together, because otherwise we're going to be in the same damn trouble that we were 6, 8, 10, 12 years ago. We don't need it. It doesn't do us any good. Let's work together.
Mr. Gale, thank you for that. And I think we all will be working together. But I think it's very important that we do what we believe is right for the town. And in working together, it means voicing what those that voted us into office have told us and that we represent. But we, all 5 of us, are committed to the best for the town. And I want everyone and all of us, I speak for all of us, want everyone to know that. We all want the best for the town, and we're all willing to work together.
I'd only just add that you're not working just for the people who voted you in.
No, absolutely
You're
not.
working for everybody in this town.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that is what has to guide you. So, yes, I recognize everybody has their differences of opinion and different priorities and maybe different agendas. But in the end, you've got to work together. You've got to put your heads together. And if we're just going to have 3 and 2 votes every month, that's not a good sign as we start off this new year, new administration. So that's all I really want to say is you folks have to work together.
Yeah, just again, we haven't passed that split decision votes. It's not uncommon. But yeah, I'm sure we can trust that when it comes to the bigger projects in this area, when it comes to improvements for the Phoenician Water District, looking at the flood mitigation efforts that are going to be moving forward, I certainly hope that everybody's on the same page and looking for the same outcome. So, that being said, is there any other public comments? No. I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
In memory of Robert Haynes, and sad to say that we lost Catherine Greenberg, who was a long-time member of our museum board over the holidays. So, all right. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourn.
Back in business.
You let me know, because this organization has been for No, you didn't. No, I understand. Of course. But there's one more. There is one. Right. There is one. I mean,
I know what two jobs are.